Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to draft, cut and sew a pleated layered bishop sleeve. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so. And do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you. I'll be working with the following items: calculator, paper scissors, fabric scissors, tracing wheel. Ideally, a pencil should be used to draft a pattern. But for tutorial purpose, I'll be using these marker pens, tape measure, rulers and curves. I will use a yard of crepe fabric, pattern paper. I will make use of the following measurements: sleeve length 24 inches, bust circumference 39 inches, around elbow 13 inches, around wrist 9 inches. First, I will draw a starting margin of about 2 inches away from the top edge of the paper. The pattern has already been folded into 2 equal halves. The length of the sleeve that I intend to make is 24 inches. So I will measure and mark 24 inches from the upper starting line downwards like this. And I will square a horizontal line across. This line is the hem of the sleeve. Next, I will calculate the cap height value. I will use the formula bust circumference divided by 12 plus 1.5 inches. And this is 39 divided by 12 plus 1.5. And this is equal to 4.75 inches. So from the upper starting line, I will go ahead to measure and mark 4.75 inches downwards like this, and I will square a horizontal line across. This line is the cap height line. Next, I will calculate the around armhole value. I will use the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and this is 39 divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 8 inches. So on the cap height line, I will measure and mark 8 inches starting from the folded edge of the paper like this. I will now connect these 2 points together like this with a slanted line. I will now go ahead and divide the slanted line into 4 equal sections like this. From the first middle point, I will go up by half an inch. From the second middle point, I will come down by half an inch. I will now use these 2 half an inch points as a guide to create the armhole curve at the sleeve edge. Next, I will locate the middle point between the cap height line and the hem of the sleeve. I will square a horizontal line across, and this line is the elbow line. I will divide the around elbow measurement by 2, and this is 13 inches divided by 2, and this is equal to 6.5 inches. So on the elbow line, starting from the folded edge of the paper, I will measure and mark 6.5 inches. Also at the hem of the sleeve, I will divide the around wrist measurement by 2, and this is 9 divided by 2, and this is equal to 4.5 inches. So at the hem, I will measure and mark 4.5 inches starting from the folded edge of the paper. I will now connect these 3 points together with a ruler like this. This armhole curve is for the back of the sleeve. For the front, I will come down from this middle point by half an inch. I will now go ahead and draw a different armhole curve for the front of the sleeve using the half an inch point as a guide. I will use a different color of marker for this. So this new curve is for the front armhole, while the old curve is for the back armhole. Using a tracing wheel, I will now trace out the front armhole curve to the other side of the pattern paper like this. I will also trace out the hem and the side seam. I will now make the tracing bolder using a marker pen, a ruler and a French curve. I will extend the cap height line and the elbow lines to the other side like this. I will label the front and the back, and I will also draw the middle line of the sleeve. I will now go ahead and cut out the basic long sleeve pattern like this. I will now alter this basic sleeve pattern into a bishop sleeve pattern. I have already used a pencil to faintly draw out the slash lines on the basic sleeve pattern. I will now use a marker pen to make the slash lines bolder like this. The space between the slash lines at the side seam is 2 inches. On the middle line, the slash line starts about 10 inches away from the sleeve edge. The space in between the slash lines diagonally is also 2 inches. For the side seam at this side, the space in between the slash lines is also 2 inches. At the hem, the space in between the slash line is 1.5 inches. At the two side seam, the space in between the cap height line where the slash line starts 3 inches. I will now go ahead and slash open the basic sleeve pattern following the slash lines that I have already drawn on the pattern, but I won't cut them all the way through. After slashing, I will go ahead and spread out the pattern on a new pattern paper. So this is the new pattern paper, and I've already drawn a middle guideline on the pattern paper. I will now use this line as a guide to make sure that the sleeve is well aligned. So the first thing I will do is to pin the upper part of the sleeve to the new pattern paper, making sure that the vertical line on the pattern paper matches up with the middle line on the sleeve. I will now go ahead and spread out the sleeve like this. I will use 2 inches for the spread all through, except for the middle where I use 1 inch on both sides of the middle line. I will now redraw the curve at the sleeve hem like this. So that's it. We now have the bishop sleeve pattern. I will now go ahead and cut it out. I will label the front and the back of the bishop sleeve, then I will remove the old pattern pieces. This is the bishop sleeve. I will now go ahead and draw out the cap height line horizontally like this. From the cap height line to the hem, I will divide the sleeve vertically into 4 equal sections. Next, I will divide the sleeve horizontally. But first, I will measure and mark 2 inches below the cap height line. And I will square a horizontal line across like this. Below these 2-inch points, I will divide the sleeve horizontally into 4 sections. The first 3 sections will be 4 inches wide. while the last section is 5.5 inches wide. In all, we have 5 sections, and I will label each of the sections like this. I will now slash the pattern horizontally like this. So I have here these brown pattern paper pieces, and I've already cut them to size. I will open the bishop sleeve by 1.5 inches each, and I've already drawn the 1.5 inch width on each of the brown pattern paper pieces. And I've also drawn the middle lines on the paper pieces. I will now use a glue stick to gum the brown paper pieces in place like this, making sure that the center of the sleeve aligns with the middle line on the brown pattern paper. I will now go ahead and trim off the excess brown paper by the sides like this. I will extend the vertical lines like this to the brown paper pieces. So these are all the points on the sleeve where the pleats will be held in place on the fabric. There will also be pleats at the side seams of the sleeve. I will now go ahead and cut out the pattern on my fabric. So now I have already pinned the pattern on my fabric, and the fabric has been folded into two. I use half an inch seam allowance at the upper part, 1 inch at the side seam, and 1 inch seam allowance at the hem. I will now go ahead and cut it out. So I will transfer all these points that I'm showing with my hands to the fabric. Transferring these points to the fabric at the side seam is easy. But the inner points may prove a little bit tricky. To make the process easier, simply use a pin to do the transfer to the fabric. Exactly just like I'm doing. You can do this transfer to the wrong side or to the right side of the sleeve. It depends on if you want to hold the pleats on the right side of the sleeve or on the wrong side of the sleeve. I will also notch the middle of the sleeve at the sleeve edge like this. So these are all the points that I will pleat at the side seam. And I have already notched the points on the fabric, as you can see. Also, all the points that will be pleated at the inner part of the sleeve have been transferred to the right side of the fabric. This is because the pleats will be on the right side of the sleeve. You can also choose to fix the pleats to the wrong side of the sleeve. So I've already transferred the points, as you can see faintly. I will now go ahead and hold the pleats like this. I will pin in place at all the points which I've already transferred to the right side of the sleeve. So I will pin all the points in place and I will leave the side seams for now. I will stitch all these points in place on my sewing machine. So now the stitching has been done. As you can see, I've stitched all the points and I made sure that I back stitched about 3 to 4 times so that the stitches do not unravel. I also hem the lower part of the sleeve. Using a safety pin, I will go ahead and insert this elastic into the hem of the sleeve like this. So the width of the hem after inserting the elastic with the sleeve unfold like this, the width will be my around wrist measurement divided by 2. Remember that the sleeve is unfold, plus 1 inch for the side seam allowance. Once I'm sure of the measurement, I will now go ahead and sew the side seams together using half an inch sewing allowance. Wrong side together since I intend to do a French seam. I will do the same thing for the other sleeve as well. So now the stitching has been done. As you can see, I will now go ahead and reduce the half an inch sewing allowance to about 1/4 of an inch like this. I will turn the sleeve to the wrong side like this. I will now sew the side seam again using the remaining half an inch sewing allowance. Remember that we used 1 inch sewing allowance when I was cutting out the sleeve on my fabric. So now the stitching has been done. As you can see, I have already marked the positions of the 4 pleats on the side seam of the sleeve. I will now use my pins to hold the pleats in place first before stitching it in place on my sewing machine. This time around, the pleats will be on the wrong side of the sleeve and not on the right side like the previous pleats. The length of the stitching should be about half an inch, and I will back stitch about 3 to 4 times so as to secure the stitches firmly in place. I will do the same thing for the other sleeve as well. So now the stitching has been done. As you can see, I have held the pleats in place on the wrong side of the sleeve. I will now turn the sleeve to the right side. And this is the final look of the pleated bishop sleeve. I can now go ahead and fix the sleeve to my blouse. So that's it guys, we are done. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.